Annyeong! Hi, and welcome to my first episode of Standing Meditation. I know I've been doing a lot of videos on seated meditation, and to be honest with you, I only started my seated meditation about 2 months ago, so I wasn't real familiar with the philosophies and techniques when I first started it, but I think I was able to tap in pretty quickly to the root of what seated meditation has to offer. So now I wanted to talk a little bit more about standing meditation. And it's a little funny that I started with standing meditation because when I think about it, I feel like seated meditation is a better place to start at because number one, when you're seated on the ground, you're a lot closer. You have a lot better connection with the ground. You're sitting with you're sitting on your sit bones, your legs are touching the ground. And seated meditation, I feel like it's a little bit easier to learn quicker. But now I want to kind of go into standing meditation. And I am pretty familiar with standing meditation. I've been doing it ever since I started Tai Chi. Tai Chi, Qigong, and standing meditation are kind of all included in a specific set of techniques that I've learned. So one of the first things that we have to do with standing meditation is we need to be familiar with just standing. And it sounds easy, but when you're actually, playing with the weight distribution between your feet, making sure that your body is in a good alignment. We call that Wuji posture. And this is Wuji posture here. So you want to make sure, I talked a little bit about this with the Qigong series. You want to make sure that your legs are underneath your shoulders, first of all. You want to make sure that you have your weight equally distributed, 50% on this leg, 50% on this leg. And then when you go to the foot bottom, you want to think about equally spreading the weight out on the bottoms of your feet. And that is definitely going to take some practice. So I'll just talk a little bit about that, but that will probably be a future episode where I go a little bit more in depth. So when you think about distributing the weight evenly across the bottom of your foot, you want to think about having the weight equal on all four corners. And so what that means is, so your heel, you definitely want to have some weight on your heel, and then you definitely want to have weight on either the ball of your foot, you got the inside, the outside here, and then your heel. So we can try and think about it as 3 touch points: the heel, the football, and then the left side of the foot. So you want to make sure that the weight, not only is the weight 50-50 here, but then on your foot bottom, you also want to have that weight spread out evenly on the foot bottom. So here we are, Wuji posture. Knees are soft. You definitely want to make sure that your knees are soft. You don't want to lock them out like that. And you should be able to wiggle your kneecap. You'll know that your knees are soft when you're able to move around your kneecap like that. So make sure that that's nice and soft. Here we got our, right here at our hip, you want to make sure that you're not sitting too low, but you definitely want the majority of your weight to be evenly spaced here in your hips. So you're going to have a little bit of tuck there that we talk about, slight bend in the knee. The knees are soft. And then here, we're coming up to our spine. So with our spine, you want to make sure that your spine and your head and neck are all in a straight line there. And you want to make sure that each vertebrae is stacked on top of each other, and then try and relax that lower back. Relax that lower back, and your tailbone will sort of drop and tuck. That elongates your spine. So now we're here at our shoulders. You want to make sure that there's some space in between your armpit here. And in the past, I've heard people say that you want to think about having like an egg or a golf ball, holding an egg or a golf ball inside your armpit there, and that leaves a little space. It's kind of hard to tell with my bulky sweater, but you definitely want to have a little bit of space in there when you're doing this Wuji posture, standing. Here, let me take this off. So like I said, here, it might seem like my arms are kind of like, you want to make sure you have that energy connection in your arms. So you're having a little bit of space here, a little bit of space here. We're having our Taiji wrist here. So the elbow's soft, the wrist is straight here, and then your hands. Your hands are very important here. You don't want to have your hands collapse, and you don't want to be straining to have your hands open. You want your hands in a nice relaxed position, and it should look something like this. And standing meditation, you can do it as a warm-up to your Taiji practice. You can do it in the middle, you can do it at the end. I find that I've enjoyed or gotten the most benefit from doing standing postures whenever. I mean, it really doesn't matter if you do it at the beginning, the middle, or the end. I know some old Taiji masters have said that they like to do it towards the end, because after we've worked up our energy, we've done our Taiji, our chi is circulating through our body. At the end of your practice, you come and you do the standing meditation. And you want to make sure that your neck isn't down, your neck isn't up, it isn't side, it's neutral. Your neck, your head, your back, it's in a neutral position. And actually, most of our body here, this is basically like a neutral position. We're not straining, we're not too relaxed. We have to find that center. And then I've done standing, I mean, the time doesn't really matter too much how long you go in the standing posture. The main thing is that you feel your body relaxed, you're focusing on your breathing, you're doing the breathing, think of our Qigong principles. We're breathing at a nice even rate. We're not holding our breath in between. It's just a continuous breathing at a good cadence, a nice even cadence. And then you can practice with how long you want to go on the standing posture for. So I hope that was helpful. I'm Scott Krueger with Way of Water, and this is episode 1 of Standing Meditation. Annyeong!